Welcome back. David Hertel in for Elias. Quebec's Community Groups Network has newly re-elected Eva Ludvig as their president. The QCGN was founded in 1995 as a nonprofit organization linking English language groups across the province. And Ludvig took over as interim president in June 2022 when Marlene Jennings stepped down. At their annual meeting, where she was reelected, Ludvig pointed to the most pressing issues that the group is currently facing, the damaging legislation at both the federal and provincial levels, including, of course, Bill 96 and Bill C-13. Eva Ludvig is joining us right now. Eva, thank you very much for your time and congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
So, Eva, was this a contested election over the weekend?
No, I was acclaimed.
Okay, so even more congratulations then.
Thank you.
So tell me, why did you stand again?
Well, I think this is a critical time for the English-speaking community. We are facing difficulties both at the provincial and federal level in terms of our rights and the protection of our rights. And I have been a great supporter, first of all, of bilingualism and linguistic duality in this country. I believe very strongly in minority rights, and I am a member of the English-speaking community and believe that the English-speaking community is an important component in Quebec society.
So tell me more, maybe, let's take a few minutes on the QCGN itself. When we talk about the community group networks, I mean, what groups are we talking about, the extent across the province? Maybe tell us more about the QCGN.
Well, QCGN has been for the past 25 years plus a group of English-speaking organizations, whether it is the Coasters Association in the Lower North Shore, the Townshipers Association in the Eastern Townships, Western Quebec in Gatineau, and of course, bringing together also different groups, what we call sector groups, whether it be publishers, whether it be employment services, and so it has been traditionally a group of different organizations throughout the province, and more recently, just a few months ago, we've introduced individual membership. We felt that we've gotten a lot of calls, especially with Bill 96, a lot of calls, a lot of people reaching out and asking how they can be involved. And we thought it was important that we allow individual members to have a say in the organization, to feel part of the organization and to hear from them. So we are now opening up to individuals who wish to join and who wish to become active in advocating on behalf of our community.
All right. So we'll get to Bill 96, but I want to talk to you about C-13. A lot has been said about the federal, how should I say, the federal reform of the Official Languages Act. We all know about Anthony Housefather, his vote, Mark Garneau's comments on it, et cetera, but ultimately it did pass. What's next for the QCGN vis-a-vis the federal government?
Well, it's almost passed. It hasn't passed yet. It is now at the Senate level.
True.
And it looks like it will pass, much to our disappointment. There's a critical week at the Senate this week. As a matter of fact, this afternoon, they'll be hearing from various legal experts on the constitutionality of C-13, which is what we are objecting to. And unfortunately, the deck is stacked against the English-speaking community. Even this afternoon, we have three representatives representing the Francophone communities, jurists from the Francophone community, and only one from our English-speaking community. So it's been really an uphill battle, and we have voiced our objections as vociferously as we could. We spoke to the senators the Official Languages Committee, and we explained our concerns in what I thought was a respectful but very cogent fashion. And I just have the sense, while our senators were extremely polite, that that is not the direction they are going. It looks like they will be passing this legislation, and soon, as a matter of fact.
So when you were working on the House of Commons side of this issue, and before the House of Commons passed it, there was a lot of talk about the fact that, aside from Anthony Housefather, I mean, all the English-speaking MPs from the Liberal Party voted for the bill, especially those representing the English-speaking community here in Montreal, for example. Francis Scarpaleggia comes to mind. Justice Minister David Lametti comes to mind, amongst others. Now, did you have any direct conversations with these members and Minister Lametti about this? And if so, what did they tell you?
Well, we've reached out, and I personally spoke to many members of Parliament representing English-speaking community areas, and others as well. And there was a lot of sympathy, understanding. We know, we care. And then we also spoke to the Minister of Official Languages more than once, the Commissioner of Official Languages, many people who are decision makers, and we, as I said, we got a lot of sympathy, a lot of concern, a lot of understanding, and efforts to reassure us. But the reassurances, the law is the law. Reassurances are ephemeral; they're not. You can't take them to the bank. Let's put it that way. The law is the law, and there was no effort to change it. And what was most disappointing is that all political parties at the federal level agreed to this legislation. And, C-13 did not start out the way it did. There's a lot of good things in there. It was once the decision was made at the pressure from the Quebec government to include the French language charter as it now stands, amended by Bill 96, that we really became concerned, and we continue to be concerned. We are convinced, and there are many constitutional experts who tell us that we should be concerned about the future impact. But unfortunately, we have not really been heard. We were listened to, but not necessarily heard or understood.
Moving to Bill 96, you, of course, are well aware of the whole controversy with the City of Montreal since June 1st, the reactions, both on the Francophone and, of course, in the English-speaking community side. I mean, a lot of people are embarrassed, disappointed. The city has changed its position slightly. Even Premier Legault and Éric Girard have said there might be some adjustments. What's your reaction to these latest developments?
Well, right from the get-go, when Bill 96 was first introduced, we said it was a bad piece of legislation, not only in terms of the impact on the rights of the English-speaking community, but also for all of Quebec, on the economy, on individuals, on the history of rights in this province and in this country. And now we are seeing the impact on the ground of a legislation that was not thought through. And some of the stuff that we've seen in the past couple of weeks demonstrates how difficult it is to implement a piece of legislation that just does not make sense.
And so what is up next for you on that front?
Well, we are going to continue to push. It's good to hear that there is some acknowledgement on the government level that perhaps some things are not workable. We are hoping that they will start to see reason that much of the legislation, I would say most of the legislation, does not reach its objective, which is to protect the French language, to promote the French language. We believe that the English-speaking community, we know that the English-speaking community, by and large, supports the protection and promotion of the French language. And they are targeting the English-speaking community and its rights and limiting its rights rather than looking for ways to promote and support the French language and looking to us as allies in this.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Eva Ludvig, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Eva Ludvig is the president of the Quebec Community Groups Network.